Can you hear me now? 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 I'm just going to do. What a way to start the show. Welcome in, everybody. What a way to start the show. My mic is clearly treating me like my brain today. I don't know what it is. I woke up today and it's just like my brain wasn't waking up. And apparently my mic's not waking up. So shout out to both of us. We got a whole bunch of good stuff going on. Great way to start the show today. Beautiful Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing well. Drop an SDS if you're vibing with me. Ooh, boy. There we go. You guys can hear me. My goodness. I don't know what's going on anymore. What's left? What's right? What's up? What's down? What is it? Debo staying, Debo going. What is it? Shout out to SDS though. Thank you guys for being easy on your boy. I know it's pretty terrible way to start off a live when you can't hear your actual host. But hey, you guys made it because you are the faithful sourdough squad. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a mock draft. Obviously, it's draft season. Draft season has been completely dominated by 49ers drama, unfortunately. So it's been a weird time to be a content creator, especially a content creator that loves the draft. As you guys know, I do. I love scouting. I love getting into it. I love breaking down prospects, projecting out, all that kind of stuff. It's my vibe. I love it. But this year has been wild, and we know why. Obviously, the first half of the offseason was dominated by Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, guess what? That has changed very quickly over the last couple months. So, as we know, Debo Samuel is right front and center in the middle of all the news. So, we are going to be talking about it, but we are going to do a mock draft today, and we are going to trade Debo Samuel. But before we get into that, we'll kind of, because I know you guys, I know for a fact you're sick of talking about Debo Samuel. I don't know if it's quite to the Jimmy levels yet, but it does feel like that we're a little bit getting tired of it. But I think we do have to run the exercise. We have to run the exercise. So in this exercise, obviously Debo Samuel gets traded. But before we get into that, I do, and it's a moving target. As each day goes by, I know you guys change in regards to percentages, like what you feel. Like when this all first came out, it was really a minuscule bunch who actually thought Debo Samuel could get traded. But as we understand, and as each day goes by, and at one point, it was as each hour went by, that percentage chance kind of shifted a little bit. So, what we are essentially going to do is ask the question one more time. Do you guys think Debo Samuel will be on the San Francisco 49ers after the draft, or do we see a situation where Debo is gone? I put out this poll yesterday on YouTube. You can see we had over 44,000 votes on this. Will Debo Samuel get traded this week? 51%. This is the first time we've actually seen it sway in the direction that he is getting traded. So 51% out of 44,000 people said yes. 49 said no. So the majority, it's very slight, has said yes. Debo Samuel will get traded. This is a very interesting situation because I think if we pulled the fan base, now there's going to be people who are upset, by the noise that's been made from this and the way that Debo's potentially gone about this particular situation and being so vocal and upfront with the trade. Again, liking posts of him in Cowboys swaps, um, all kinds of stuff. It's been quite the ride. But if you take away the drama of this entire situation, I guarantee you 99.9% of 49er fans would not want to see Debo Samuel go, including myself. I would put myself into that category. If you have to ask me, and you have to ask me right now, I don't want Debo Samuel to go anywhere. I want Debo Samuel to be a part of this team as we move forward and you know, try to get that sixth ring. It's been something we've been trying to do. We've been questing, we've been traveling, we've been going over hills, we've been going through deserts, we've been going through swamps, just trying to find that sixth ring. So far, we've come very short to our precious. We've been close. We've tasted it. We've had we've had it in our hands, but yet we've fumbled it. And we've been so close so many times. Um, whether it's being 5 yards away or it's having a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. We've been so close. So ultimately, Debo Samuel is a huge piece into, potentially doing that, moving forward, being the team that we want to be, and ultimately getting the championship. And I envision Debo being a part of that. However, with the way that I'm kind of tracking everything, the way that I'm particularly observing, and trying to connect the dots, my optimism level is not high. Now, again, I want Debo Samuel here. I want Debo Samuel to be a part of the 49ers, and I want him to be a part of that sixth ring. However, again, my optimism shifts in the opposite direction as each day goes by. So I want to know what you guys think. Again, this is a moving target, which is why we keep polling. So let's poll right now. Do you guys think Debo Samuel gets traded this week? What is the percent chance? I want to see a percentage chance. Do you think it's 100% chance that Debo Samuel gets traded? Is it 3% chance that he gets traded? So, like, basically nothing. 0%. He's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. Drop it in the chat. Again, I just want to see how you guys are thinking because it is a moving target. So, again, these numbers, if you've been on the lives throughout the week, they are changing and they are going in the wrong direction. We have first one off the bat, 100% he gets traded. 77% he gets traded, which I believe is actually up from what Draft Scout had put earlier in the week. 95%, 110%, 90%, 100%, 80%. Oregon Ducks for Life's holding out at 35%. We got a 40-60. Interesting number that you put there. 50%, 25, 20, 40, 99.9, 80. Hawk Hater says 40%. Detail with a very logical answer. Somewhere between 0 and 100% is most likely. I would agree with that. Somewhere between 0 and 100 is probably accurate. Joshua is saying 60% no trade, 40% trade. Zachary saying 97% he gets traded. Justin, I've noticed you have been a moving target. That went from he's probably not getting traded to now we're at 100%. And I know you don't throw numbers out lightly. Dylan holding hope that it's nothing, 10%. Tyshawn Davis at 100%. We got 30%. Simone says 0. He ain't going anywhere. Nowhere. Jeremy says 80. Another 0% from Marie. So you get a good sense. It's clearly, again, if you've been with us as we've been polling, it's definitely going in the wrong direction. So that is partly why we are going to get on. We're going to do a mock draft today. We are going to trade Debo in this particular mock because, as I've stated, I want Debo to be here. I want Debo to be a part of this chase to get the sixth ring. But if I had to put a percent, oh, Travis said he ain't going nowhere. If I had a to put a percentage chance on it, this is what I'm feeling. It's not what I want. I want to make that. Oh, nice, very nice there, very nice. Um, and I want to make that abundantly clear. This isn't what I want. This is what I feel. This is what I think. This is what I'm tracking. This is what I'm sensing. Um, if I had to put a percentage chance on it right now today of Debo Samuel getting traded, I'm at 98.7% that he's going to get traded. Now, that doesn't mean he will, doesn't mean that's what I want, but if I was a betting man, I am betting that Debo Samuel gets traded. Um, and you guys know I've already been high. I started out high. I was high at the time that he scrubbed his page to begin with 2 weeks ago, and it has only gone in the continuing to go up. So now there's been multiple reports back and forth. Again, it's smoke season, it's rumor season. You're going to hear all these different types of things. Well, we hear around the league that we believe that he won't be going anywhere, or you're hearing around the league that Debo Samuel will get traded. So basically, I'm of the mindset that Debo's getting traded. And I don't want that to happen. I would like Debo to be a San Francisco 49er. I didn't envision this offseason going this way at all. And it's not something that I want. I don't think that helps Trey Lance. I don't think that helps the team in regards to winning now. I think that uh, was, it's not the best. So, but overall, again, if I had to read between the lines, it feels like a foregone conclusion that he's going to get traded. So as a result, that's why we are going to be doing a mock draft today. We are going to be trading Debo Samuel, and whether we like it or not, you guys are going to help me. You're going to be my accomplices in trading Debo Samuel in this mock draft. So let's actually get to it and start mocking, because we'll be able to talk about prospects too. That's the beauty of this, is that we're going to be able to talk about some prospects. Obviously, we are going to be talking about Debo a little bit, but let's talk about Debo getting traded. Because again, I have a sense that it's coming. Doesn't mean it is, doesn't mean it will happen. That's just how I feel. So let's start throwing out trade ideas. What do we want? We want 10, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and speak for all of us. 10, we want it. We want 10. Give us 10 right now. Give us 10, please. So we are going to enter the draft. We're going straight to the New York Jets. I want 10. But what else do we want? Because this is Debo Samuel, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to trade him. Again, you just had John Lynch come out to the media yesterday. He said he could never envision the 49ers trading Debo Samuel. And I agree with that, because I would say the same thing. I could never envision the San Francisco 49ers trading Debo Samuel as well. But it is Debo Samuel who wants the trade. At a certain point, you're going to play hardball, or are you going to make what is abundantly clear, and you're just going to go get a haul? So far, I'm seeing 35 or 38. I'm seeing 35 and 38. I like the idea of 38, 10 and 38. Okay, do we want a little sweetener on top? Do we want a little sweetener on top of that? I think 35 and 38 is baseline when we're talking Debo Samuel trade. Um, I I didn't even ask you guys, and that's my mistake. I didn't ask you um, about which team we should trade with, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say the New York Jets. It's too perfect. It's just too perfect of a fit. It's too perfect of a fit with the coaching staff, the money that they have, the draft capital that they have. It's just too perfect of a fit. And again, you're looking at pick 10 and you're looking, I believe it's at pick 38. Both of those picks were acquired via trading other players, Jamal Adams, Sam Darnold. So again, they still have a first and a second if they trade us 10 and 38. So I'm saying 10 and 38 are the baseline here. So what else? Do we add any more? Is that it? Do we call it a day and we feel happy with 10 and 38 with Debo Samuel? Or do we think we can milk a little bit more? I think we can milk a little bit more. I'm going to be honest. I think we could milk a little bit more. Ooh, add Elijah Mitchell. That would be a steal. That would be a steal. But I also would feel like it could be too much. I like Elijah, but I like Elijah more that much. I don't know if they would do that. I think Elijah Moore is really, really good. Did I say Mitchell? It's one of those days. You already know. You already know. You already know what type of day it is for me. We started out with no no audio. I'm not going to get the names right. I've been spelling things wrong all day. It's one of those days for me. This thing we got to wake them up. Wake up. I like this. Let's go 10, 68, 69. This feels safe. I love the idea of adding Elijah Moore, not Elijah Mitchell, because that's a huge difference in the trade. Um, Y'all are funny, man. Oh my goodness. It's definitely one of those days. It's definitely one of those days. Um, so I like this. Let's go here. We're going to go 69. Nice. We are going to force this trade because this wouldn't work in the simulation, but it works here. So we're forcing the trade. So for Debo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers get pick 10, pick 38, and pick 69. I think getting 3 picks in the top 70, obviously 2 of those being in the top 40, that's a pretty decent haul. I feel really happy about that. I feel really, really happy about that. So I like this trade. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see how the board falls. So we are off and running. And just like that, the San Francisco 49ers are on the board. And this is quite the surprise because we were thinking, oh, it's gonna be a slow first day of the draft. It's there. We're just gonna be waiting. We're not gonna be doing too much. Not doing a whole lot. But now the San Francisco 49ers have the 10th pick. Who are we going with? Do we just straight up go replacement wide receiver? Again, there's going to be wide receivers all over the place. Do you go George Karlaftis at edge? Do we go Garrett Wilson, Drake London? Or I'm seeing some trade back scenarios because there could be a good opportunity here where a quarterback, maybe top 10 is a little rich for taking one of these quarterbacks. Uh, maybe top 9, I should say, but maybe top 10. Top 10 maybe is a good situation where you could trade back. Let's take a look at it. Let's see who we could potentially trade with. These are, oh, look, the Jets want to trade again. So teams that are interested in the pick that are coming to us per the simulator are the New England Patriots at 21. I'm not sure that the 49ers would want to go all the way from pick 10 to 21. That feels like a big drop, and these two feel like they'd be out of contention as well. But you never know. Maybe the New Orleans Saints at 16 want to offer up and move up and snag a quarterback to be groomed behind Jameis Winston. That could definitely be a possibility. So, what are we thinking? Drop it in the chat. Trade back or pick? Let's hear it. Trade back or pick? Spam the chat. Make it known. Do you want to trade back? Do you want to select here? Make it known in the chat. And then we will do the popular vote. All right. Early indications are trade back. Trade back. Oh, we got two picks. Trade to 13, trade to 17. Pick. Trade back, trade back, trade back, trade back. All right. We're going to trade back because guess what? We are going to um, basically reach out to the ghost of Trader Trent Baalke, and we are going to get real galaxy brained here. We are going to get really galaxy brained here. We are going to trade back. Although you could sit right here again, let's look at who's available on the board because there are some good players. If we go back, I don't know if I can go back. Yeah, it's not going to let me. Right? But there are some good players available. Again, you can see how the board has fallen up until this point. You had Adrian Hutchinson go first, Stingley second, Charles Cross third, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Ike Kwanu, Kayvon Thibodeau, Trayvon Walker, Evan Neal, Kyle Hamilton. This is actually, I think, is pretty solid in regards to how it's fallen. That means, again, we have Carl Laftis available at edge, Linderbaum. You have guys like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jamison Williamson. I can't speak today. It's one of those days. It's one of those days, guys. It's one of those days. But let's trade back a little. Let's make it fun. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go the Saints. The Saints are gonna want a quarterback. We're gonna go 16. We're gonna give them 10. We'll take 49. We'll take, let's see, what others do we want? 49, 98 to go from 10 to, I'm going to go here. Drop back 6 spots, get a top 50 pick and 120. Do you think that would do it? Do you think that would do it? Because I do think that the Saints will be interested in moving up to get this done. They could be a potential mover in this draft to try to get a quarterback. So, again, the 49ers were able to recoup 10, 38, 69 from the Jets, and they were able to turn that into even more picks. And if you look at the board, who's available, you can still take Drake London. You can still take Tyler Linderbaum. Not enough people are talking about Devontae Wyatt. You have Chris Olave, Sky Moore, Zion Johnson, Lewis Seen. There are still studs on the board. So who are we taking? Are we taking Debo's replacement? Are we taking Alex Mack's replacement? Are we potentially adding more depth to the defensive line? Or are we going with a shocker and Sky Moore? Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And it seems to be a runaway. It seems to be a runaway so far. We want to replace Alex Mack right off the jump. Whew. Lots of Tylers. Tyler the blocker, not the creator. Let's go. Ooh. Detail hot on Drake London. Drake London gives me all the Mike Evans vibes. but so far it is a runaway with center. So we are going to turn in the pick. So with the 16th pick of the NFL draft, the San Francisco 49ers get a center that you could plug and play day one. So that takes care of a lot of perceived issues immediately on the 49ers offensive line. So right away, again, he's a guy you could put in at guard if you wanted to. He can put in at guard if you wanted to. If you really, really, really wanted to. Or we could go in a different direction. But where are we going here? Are we going to go edge? We going offensive line again? Probably not. We have Jaquan Brisker on the board. Again, he's been connected to the San Francisco 49ers. He's been on visits with them. You have guys like Drake Jackson, Josh Pascal at edge. Treylon Burks is right there. A lot of people talk about Treylon Burks as being a Debo Samuel type player. Again, you have edge players like David Ojabu, Boye Mafe. This 38 pick is nice because it gives you so many different options. You still got guys like Jahan Dotson down here. You can have a pick at any one of the running backs that you want. Again, this 38 pick would be phenomenal to have for the San Francisco 49ers. So drop it right now. I'm seeing so far right off the bat a lot of Brisker, a lot of Burks. So let's narrow it down to there. Because remember, we now have pick 49. So we're not dropping that far. So again, let's put our GM caps on and remember that we aren't picking that far away. So we don't want to reach because we also want to try to play the board and see who will be there at 49. And you can see there's a ton of edge. Maybe an edge will be there at 49. Treylon Burks is the seemingly only, top tier wide receiver that's left. Again, you could play the game and wait for Jahan Dotson as well. So there's a way to play this board right now. So based on how the board stacks, where are we going? Where are we going? Drop it in the chat. Let's see. Lots of Brisker, lots of Burks. Lots of Brisker, lots of Burks. Ooh, this is. I wish I could throw up polls. Ooh, this is a tough one. Lots of Burks, lots of Briskers. Get them in now. I need to see more. I need one side to sway, Brisker or Burks. I need Brisker or Burks. I need to see one side sway. Remember, we have the ability to pick in 10. Just a reminder that I do believe Christian Watson is available. Let's see. He's typically, there he is. There's Christian Watson. Again, play the value game. You can take Burks here, but again, is this realistic? I don't know. This is an updated board. They have updated this board, I believe, as of this week. So let me know what you want. Ooh, this is a tough one. I see lots of Burks. I see lots of Briskers, but again, you could go Brisker and Watson. All right. I think I'm gonna make the move for us. So with the 38th pick of the Debo Samuel traded mock draft, the San Francisco 49ers take Psych safety, Jaquan Brisker. Let's see who is available. And just like that, let's see how the board fell. We had Batonio go, Ritter go to Seattle, which actually is a pretty solid pick for them. Treylon Burks goes to the Colts. He doesn't make it. We see some run on edge go, but that does mean there is Jahan Dotson still available. There is still Jalen Tolbert still available. And of course, the guy, Christian Watson. So, is this an opportunity where we go for wide receiver? What do we want now? Or do we go edge? As you see, David Ojabu sitting right there. Play the board, ladies and gentlemen. Play the board. Oh, this one's easy. Watson or Dotson? Watson or Dotson? Which one is it going to be? Watson or Dotson? This feels like a really good spot to take a wide receiver. Extremely good value right here to go wide receiver. I mean, you fill two massively, arguably your biggest needs with legitimate players with Tyler Linderbaum and Jaquan Brisker. Now you have an opportunity to come back and get a legitimate wide receiver. So, who's it going to be? Dotson or Watson? Drop it in the chat. Spam, 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 spam. Dotson or Watson? I need to see definitive Dotson Watson. Who's it going to be? Clearly, lots and lots of Watson. Someone said Pickens. I don't know if he's available. So, this is the wide receiver board as it stands right now. Again, here's are the rankings, ADP. We're picking right around the average draft position, obviously a little bit higher than rank, but at least for ADP, we're on pace. Oh, it looks like, yeah, I see. I see. Pickens isn't available. Detail upset. Detail upset. Dotson and Watson. Who's it going to be? 4.3 speed at 6'5. Great hands and body control. Are we kidding? Watson, please. Thank you. Let's go. Shout out James. What's up, my boy? He says, what's up, SCS faithful? Either receiver will bring a lot to the 49ers. You really can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong here. So I see what it is. I see what it is. I know the vibes. So with the 49th overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers are going to select Christian Watson. Got him. And just like that, well, now we are back on the board. Now, this is the Fleece Kings right here. So we've done a phenomenal job, guys. We may not have gotten the exact player that we wanted, right? Maybe not the exact player, but let's look at the overall board. Let's look at who we've been able to get. Again, we started at 10 with Deebo. We turned that into an additional pick in the top 50 and still got Tyler Linderbaum, who is considered to be the number one center in this class. And you have a potential plug and play ready to go at center if need be, and or potentially guard if you want to. So Tyler Linderbaum, again, coming out of Iowa, that literally breeds offensive linemen. I'm very happy with that pick. And the fact that we were able to get additional value in return is huge. At 38, we turn pick 38 into Jaquan Brisker, who is going to be a legit safety at the next level. And we get him at a pretty solid value, if you ask me, at pick 38. And then, of course, we turn pick 49. Is it Is it fate that pick 49 happens to be a fan favorite? You take Christian Watson, you put him with Trey Lance. I'm just saying they already fit together. They already fit together. Uh, so now we have to see who we want to take at 61. Let's see who is available on the board. So we could go slot corner, Marcus Houston. We could add more interior offensive line depth. Lot we There's so many options we can go. We can get real spicy. I don't know if Breesy will last this long. In this one, Kenneth Walker went first. Let's see, Logan Hall. You could still go edge with Logan Hall again. Logan Hall to me kind of reminds me of that Eric Armstead. Dude, I need to take a nap. I promise you, I need to. Did I say Marcus Houston? Oh, it's one of those days. I'm telling you, it's one of those days, guys. Bear with me, please. Your patience is appreciated. So we could go multiple directions here. You could go Cameron Thomas potentially at 61. So what are we looking like? Ebuketi isn't there. He is not available. Let's go check edge. So but remember too, we now have pick 69 that we got from the Giants. So we can play the board a little bit. We can see who falls. Maybe edge. We hold out for 69 for D'Angelo Malone. I'm just saying. D'Angelo Malone has met with the San Francisco 49ers. They are aware of him and know him. So, but what do we want to go here? I actually think that Marcus Jones from Houston. There we go. Marcus Jones is going to be one of the best cornerbacks in this class. Again, he's smaller. He's about 5'8" and some change, but he plays much higher, like he's much larger than that. He's going to be a baller and could slide into the slot cornerback position. So that could be an option there. Aiden says my dream scenario is 10th and 35th and something after, and get Tyler and Hamilton, then Pickens, Watson, or Ojabo at 35. Ojabo was top 20. Don't forget. Yes, I'm not going to forget that. But I also do know that the San Francisco 49ers do not have a strong success rate with drafting injury-prone prospects. So I would actually say they're probably going away from that ideology, even though you look at the value and it looks really nice. I think they've dabbled with that a lot over the past decade, and unfortunately they've missed way more than they've hit. Now maybe they could do it because, again, in this particular draft we have stacked an insane amount of draft picks, but now we'll see. But all right, let's figure out where we want to go here, because again, let's review what we've taken. We've taken Tyler Linderbaum at 16. We came back, took Jaquan Brisker at 38, Christian Watson at 49, and now we are on the clock at 61. So we went center, safety, wide receiver. Where are we going now? Do we take? I mean, Breesy's there. If Breesy's there, it feels like they will take him, but I also don't believe he will fall that far. It's being reported right now that Breesy is in consideration to be the first running back taken and potentially in the first round. Maybe we go tight end to pair with Gregory. So we get 2 Gregs in the tight end room. That could be fun. Again, Logan Hall. We potentially need defensive line. Logan Hall is a pretty solid player. Again, reminds me a bit of Eric Armstead in the sense you can play him on the outside, you can play him inside. He's got length. You can do all different types of things. So let's go. What do we want to do? Spam it in the chat. You know the vibes. Spam it. Spam City. Where are we going? Let's see. Running backs available. These are the running backs that we got. If we look at cornerbacks, definitely going to lose a little bit of star power at cornerback. Edge could probably hold out again. Picking right here, so we're not picking that far away. Where do we go? I'm seeing a lot of Breesy. Don't make me take a running back at 61. I'll do it. I will do it. So if you don't want him, better speak up. Because again, remember, you can take edge at 69. Play the board here, guys. Play the board. If we're pretending this is how it's going, right? Although we don't think Breesy Hall is going to be available at 61, we're pretending this is how it is. So remember, we can stack edge at 69, just a couple picks away. So I see a lot of people want edge, so we can kick edge back a little bit. Play the board, guys. Play the board. So what? You know what? We're gonna get spicy. We're doing it. We're doing it because hey, if just like Justin said, if he's there, you do it. So we're doing it. We're taking Breesy Hall in the most realistic mock draft of all time. Don't let anyone tell you that this mock draft isn't accurate because it is. This will happen just like this. And guess what, guys? We played the board correctly because remember, everyone wanted edge. Not one edge went off the board. Not one. That means we get an A+ for being a GM. That means we get an A+ for being a GM because we went best player available. We got the running back. May not be a huge need. I think it's a need. But hey, we went with the best player available. And now none of the edges went off, and we still have the entire list to pick from. So we're going to go edge now. Where do we want to go with edge? Ooh, how's that a wasted pick, Rome? How's that a wasted pick? What does the 49ers running back room look like at this current state? What does it look like? It looks like Elijah Mitchell, no Debo Samuel. Remember, your wide back just got traded in this class. Remember that. Your wide back is gone. So there's no more Debo to come save you. That means you're rocking with Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, Jermichael Hasty, and Trey Sermon. You happy with that? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I 100% believe the 49ers are going to go running back. 100%. In this class. Where, when, don't know. But if Breesy Hall falls to you at 61 and we just took 3 picks, oh yeah. Ooh, is the hive buzzing? Is the hive buzzing? Tell them this mock draft is so accurate that we are going to the Super Bowl. This mock draft is so accurate, so legit. We are going to the Super Bowl already. Get ready. Oh, I think it's time. I don't know. I see Sanders, Myjai Sanders, right? Let me double check. That's who's Myjai Sanders is right here. But again, value-wise, feels like a bit of a reach. If he's ADP at 102 and he's 119 on your board, you could theoretically have a shot at Myjai at 93. So taking him here does feel like a bit of a reach. Although I don't dislike the player, but if we're sticking to our board, it would feel like a bit of a reach based on where the board falls. So drop it in the chat. Are we going? Are we going D'Angelo Malone hype? Cameron Thomas, too. If you haven't watched Cameron Thomas, he's a good edge prospect. He's definitely not going to be as dynamic as D'Angelo Malone as a pass rusher, but he will be able to be a little bit more of a base down defensive end as well. Jordan Banks TV says, if Debo stays, do you think he owes fans an apology? If he stays, he owes a lot of people an apology, and I think the fans are unfortunately last on that list. I think the way he's gone about it hasn't been ideal for the front office. So if Debo stays, then I believe he's got to apologize to a lot of people. There's some good players still on the board. My goodness, we are cooking with gas. There's so many good players on the board right now. Again, keep in mind we're picking at 93, but where are we going here? This mock draft is going to be legendary. So much. I know where Justin wants. He wants that tight end. He wants that tight end one action, which again, the San Francisco 49ers with Trey Lance love running two tight end sets. And right now, the San Francisco 49ers tight ends are Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly outside of George Kittle. So where do we want to go here? We can go in a lot of different places. We have freedom. We have freedom to go in a lot of places right now. So this is how I'm kind of seeing it. It does feel like Parham is a strong option. Greg is a strong option. Logan Hall's still there. Wow, if Logan Hall's at 69, I would even think about that. I love Kirby Joseph. John Mechie could be another option to add, but I think you can get wide receivers later. Cameron Thomas is a good option. Donovan West, if you want more interior offensive line help. Perion Winfrey, Tyreek Woolen, Cole Strange, Calvin Austin, D'Angelo Malone, Cam Jurgens. Danny Gray, Alec Pierce. This is a good James Cook, Khalil Shakur. Boy, look at how many options we have. So many options. So many rooms for activities. So much room for activities. So let's look at the board. I'm going to try to tell you guys what I think. Again, we got 69, 93 is going to be a bit of a gap based on the potential depth available. Again, we haven't addressed edge yet. So we haven't addressed edge, and there are good edges available. So I'm going to narrow us down here a little bit to edge. And of course, you guys know what I want to go. Oh, I'm salivating because clearly at this point, we've missed out on Brian Burns. So again, I've said it all draft season. My consolation prize is D'Angelo Malone if we are getting real serious about it. So I want to see though. I see lots of Parhams still available. Again, remember we did go center with the first pick. Now, I have already in one of our mocks made an executive decision to go get Malone. So I'm not going to do that here. Even though I would and I'd want to, I am going to leave this up to you guys. I've already made executive decisions in the past to go get Malone. So if you want Malone, you got to tell me. But if you want that tight end, again, think about the two tight end sets. Think about that. You could try to play the board, see who falls, but you could very well lose out on all the edge by 100. You let me know. So far, I'm seeing a lot of Balone. Dean says, real quick, check out Debo's IG story last pick. Notice wall pick. All right, hold on one second. Did he delete it already? Who is that? Is that Cap? I don't know who that is. I can't tell, to be honest with you. He's in Dallas. Huh. That's a Dallas player. He trolling, bro. Debo Samuel's such a big troll. Oh my gosh, dude. He's such a troll, dude. He's trolling so hard right now. Is that Tony Romo? I think that might be Tony Romo in that pick. Yeah, I see you. Yep. I see it. Barry Insight just copied me on it. All right. Do we take a quick do we take a quick sidebar and we look at it, or we can let's wait till after the draft. We'll talk about it after the draft. We'll pull it up. Shout out Dean for pointing that out. He's for sure trolling. That's such a troll. All right, where are we going? Back on track. Let's pick. Don't make me pick D'Angelo Malone. But to be honest with you, based on value, I mean, Greg or Dylan right here feels really strong. Greg or Dylan feels strong. Again, you're looking at the offensive line, you're looking at the interior, question marks all over the place. You could do a lot of different things. Again, is Aaron Banks, do we just believe Aaron Banks is that guy? Do we believe that? Because I actually broke down Parham today and watched a couple of his games. And with Parham, he literally looks like a Laken Tomlinson clone. Like, he looks like Laken Tomlinson. I think he moves a little bit better than Laken Tomlinson. But Parham, he looks like Laken Tomlinson. And again, we saw him at the combine. That's a thick boy. That's a thick ass boy. That boy thick. So, what do we want? Spam it. Spam the chat. Spam the chat. Who do you want? Who do you want? Again, I like Parham. The ones that I'm looking at right now, I like Parham. I like Dulcich. I feel like I've been saying his name wrong, but that wouldn't surprise me. Parham, Greg, Hall, Malone. Drop it in the chat. So far, Parham is running away. Seeing some Gregs sprinkled in. So remember, spam the chat. Feeling Parham is who I like this comment. And just for that reason alone. With the 69th pick, nice. In the Debo Samuel trolling us still mock draft. The San Francisco 49ers to Lake. take I can't talk today, dude. Dylan Parham, guard. I like the pick. Again, watched fresh off watching him earlier today. Um, he to me is I like him at guard. I don't think he's a center. He's a guard, guys. So remember that. You guys are saying two centers. He's a guard first. He is a guard first. So now essentially what you did is you're able to get a center and a guard, and you have potentially a new opportunity here to really rebuild that interior offensive line. And now you have an opportunity to go edge. So, hey, I see a lot of people upset with it. You should have spammed the chat. Should have spammed the chat. But unfortunately, we lost out on D'Angelo Malone. We lost out on Greg. We lost out on Logan. So we've made our bed and now we have to sleep in it. So where do we want to go now? Where do we want to go now? This is the overall big board that is available. Let's recap. Guys, we've done some work in this draft. We've damn near rebuilt half the roster with this draft. We've taken Tyler Linderbaum at 16. We came back. We took Jaquan Brisker at 38. We have Christian Watson at 49. Breece Hall at 61. Dylan Parham at 69. And now, where do we go? Where do we go? Do we get crazy and add another wide receiver? What do we want? What do we want? Let's go back to edge. Still haven't got that edge there. And we were talking about this earlier. Potentially taking him at 69. That was the thought. Well, look, now he's available. And based on ADP, he's pretty close to being that potential pick. James says, can I see who is available at cornerback? Of course you may, good sir. Of course you may. Let me click on it first. Cornerback. So here is what we got. And Zion, Martin Emerson. I believe details big on Martin. Cordell Flott, I believe, is a guy who's gaining steam as of late in regards to the draft community. Shakir is there. Tyquan Thornton is there. Who are we taking? Oh, Kimbo wants a timeout. I appreciate your enthusiasm, my boy. I appreciate it. But we're just going to put you on a little bit of the timeout because we do want spam in the chat. But we want to spam the picks. We've traded Deebo, unfortunately. So Deebo is gone. So this is what we have. Cornerbacks, again, Martin Emerson, I like Zion McCollum, Alontae Taylor, Kalon Barnes, Kobe Bryant, again, but you can push Kobe, it looks like, based on this particular board. If we want to go look at wide receivers, my homies are still here. Like I'm salivating right now. Danny Gray, 4.33 speed, Alex Pierce, 6'3 beast, Khalil Shakir, David Bell, my draft son, just sliding because he does not test well. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Christian Watson and David Bell in the same draft? I would die. I would die of happiness. Christian Watson and David Bell in the same draft. Like you think about the archetype of wide receiver. You think of Christian Watson again. He's got immense size, length, speed, agility. He's kind of one of these he's like a shooting forward playing wide receiver. But then you get David Bell, who is a technically gifted route runner, knows how to play body position, is going to be a Like he's going to win at the contested catch point. He's going to be able to. Whew, that would be fun. That would be fun. I've seen lots of Thornton. You guys want Taekwon? I mean, you guys already got a burner, so I wouldn't wait on pure speed. I would shift it up. I would change it a little bit. Like Danny Gray is a all around wide receiver running a 4-3-3. Um, Khalil is a phenomenal wide receiver that can do a lot of different things well. So what are we spamming in the chat? Someone asked for stats on David Bell. If we pull up David Bell's production, David Bell last season put up over 1,200 yards on 93 catches, and he had 6 touchdowns. He was 1,000-yard receiver as a freshman, I believe. 625, but it did look like he only played 6 games. He was on good pace again his sophomore year, and then you can see what he was able to do in 11 games. And I couldn't even tell you who Purdue's quarterback is to even pretend like he's got a dude slinging him the ball. Age is great. I like his ability. Again, David Bell for 49er fans. Think of Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden wasn't a burner. He wasn't a burner at all, but he knows how to get open. He knows how to win his way. And hey, just saying. So let's see. It does feel like we are narrowed down to wide receiver, though. Or do we want to go edge? Remember, we haven't gone edge yet. We are completely neglecting edge. Now, let's keep in mind, I think the 49ers have 12 defensive linemen on the roster. I believe, again, they signed Toure not too long ago, which I actually do think was a phenomenal signing. But let me see if I can stack both. Wide receiver, edge, potentially cornerback. So if we're looking at and we drill it down to wide receiver, cornerback, edge, why don't we do tight end for good measure? Still nothing much has changed. This is how our board is stacking. What do we want? Just spam the chat. Spam the chat. I need you to spam it. Spam it. I'm slipping on Velus Jones. I'm not. I think he's good. Check Twitter. Why am I checking Twitter? Why are we checking Twitter? Hey, I'm on high alert. I am on high alert right now. So far, I don't see much of anything. Okay, I don't even know what I'm looking for, to be honest with you. But my notification via Twitter are undefeated. So typically, if I'm not being notified, it's coming from a source that is likely unreliable or just a random source. Okay, perfect. I don't even know what it is. So I'm looking for nothing. Perfect. Awesome. Again, if Matt would whatever. Matt Mayoko hasn't posted in 4 hours. So there we go. All right. Back to it. Focus. We still have a million picks. Look how many picks we have. Oh my gosh. We're not even through the third round. Who are we taking here? We're going Danny Gray, we're going Alec Pierce, we're going Khalil Shakur, Shakir, we going Martin Emerson. Are we going Zion McCollum? We're going Myjai Sanders and going edge. We're going Wandale Robinson. Maybe try to go. You probably kick Wandale Robinson out if you really wanted to. But where are we going, fam? Where are we going? Spam the chat. Feels like we want to go. Feels like we want to go wide receiver here. So could go, but remember, we have not gone edge yet. We have not gone edge yet. So far, getting a lot of Shakir, Bell. Khalil, to me, is a phenomenal prospect. I think he can do everything. And he cleared up any potential issues with his speed. So there's so many good wide receivers here. I'm not getting enough spammage in the chat. Oh. Malone Hive, let's go. I would have taken him. So this is how, again, I talked about this. If it were up to me, I would have taken D'Angelo Malone right here at 69. So we would have been able to take care of edge. But hey, we're listening. This is a group effort. We took Dylan instead. The legend went off the board right after that. So right there. Oh, he went to the Raiders, of course. Of course he went to the Raiders. So seeing Khalil. Ooh, this is a tough one, man. All right. This is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna think of 4 numbers, 1 through 10. First person to guess the number, I'm then just gonna pick. I see basically the first, like there's 4 names that we keep repeating. So first person, 1 through 10, go. First person, 1 through 10, go. All right. Oh my gosh. How has no one got it yet? Oh, wait. Okay, we got it. Okay, the first one that I had assigned a number to was 8. First one I assigned a number to was 8, and that person was Khalil Shakir. All right, we figured it out. We got one. But we're right back at it. We're able to get Khalil Shakir. So right now, let's recap what we've done thus far. We went with Tyler Linderbaum at 16. We've gone with Jaquan Brisker, Christian Watson, Breece Hall, Dylan Parham, Khalil Shakir, and at 105, we now are on the board yet again. And look, Myjai Sanders is still available. We don't need to go running back. We've done a phenomenal job of taking care of wide receiver, Christian Watson, Khalil Shakir. We could go cornerback here. Great potential value with Martin. We could start looking at tight end. Go Jelani Woods, James Mitchell, Jeremy Ruckert as potential options. Again, Myjai Sanders is still available. Zion McCollum is there. We probably kick out wide receiver for a while. Maybe we go JoJo Daman as kind of like a hybrid kind of nickel potentially. So what are you guys thinking? So I'm seeing cornerback. So Zion McCollum could be a nice one. If we go edge, again, Myjai Sanders, Tyreek Smith, uh, Amari Barno. Um, has a little bit of that D'Angelo Malone vibe, a little bit. Very long, 6'4", 246. Um, he had 3 sacks, but he's definitely feels like an edge rusher. Clearly played majority of his snaps outside the tackle. So he would be a fit for the wide nine. But where are we going? I'm feeling cornerback or edge here. Feeling cornerback or edge here. If we go cornerback, so this is cornerback and edge slotted together. Myjai, Emerson, Zion here. This could be a great spot to take Zion. Justin wants Jelani, big boy. Joey says Barno stinks. I'll be honest. I've only taken a peep at him. I haven't studied him. He's definitely not on the level of D'Angelo Malone, in my opinion. But it does look like right now it's going to be a battle between Zion McCollum and Myjai Sanders. Where are we going? Spam the chat. Zion McCollum, maybe Alante Taylor or Myjai. Do we take edge? Do we stop the run on edge? ADP is right here. Ooh, lots of Zions. Lots of Zions. Lots of Zions. Sanders, though. Ooh, this is going to be another one. This is going to be another one. Zion or Sanders? Zion. So far, looks like Zion's coming from one person. Particular. That's what I'm seeing. It's one person. But again, looking at the construction of the 49ers, looking at what we have available, the 49ers are pretty decent in regards to cornerback. They could add additional depth there. I wish I could pull. I haven't figured out how to pull in this particular application. I'm using a third-party service for streaming. I think though we could potentially kick cornerback back a little bit. Again, we're picking 15 picks away. Pretty soon here, we're going to have to start also thinking about trading some of these picks. We have too many picks. So at a certain point, we are going to have to start getting a little creative and trading. My goodness. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't sub. I appreciate your engagement, my boy. Just you only need to say it one time. Just one time. You don't Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to make a decision based on the way the board's fallen. We have to go a little bit of need here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Myjai Sanders at 105. I still think that's really good value. And now we try to see who is available on the turn. So a lot of the cornerbacks had went. Zion McCollum went. Martin Emerson went. And but does that mean who is available? Oh, Alante Taylor's still there. Kalon Barnes is still there. We still have some guys at the cornerback position that could be available. So let me know what you're thinking here. What are we thinking? Because I know who detail wants. I know who detail wants. Yeah, David Bell being on the board is nuts. Absolutely bonkers. I would have taken him already. I would have taken him already. I would have absolutely taken him already. The fact that he's still on the board is crazy to me. I don't think we go necessarily Kobe Bryant here, because I feel like it would be an overdraft at this point. Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. Do not tempt me with a good time. Do not tempt me with a good time. This is going to be like the best draft of all time. This is so accurate that John Lynch is going to copy us. This is what we're doing right now. This draft is going to be so good that Adam Peters, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they're going to sit around this live. They're going to like see like our thought processes. And all right, my boy, I love you. I appreciate the way that you are engaging, but we just have to say it one time. You just have to say it one time. So I'm imagining they're sitting around right now. They're probably tapped into this live. Screw actually scouting. Let's watch the SF Niners mock draft live. Ooh, do we go David Bell? If we go David Bell, we draft three different wide receiver archetypes. We draft three different wide receiver archetypes that can do all different kinds of things. Do not tempt me with a good time. Do not do it. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. This is your last opportunity. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, I love it. We're going. David Bell. Oh my gosh. This is the craziest draft of all time. Guess what, guys? We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks. So I'm going to go ahead and say maybe it's time that we start to look for additional picks in the future drafts because, again, we are the best GMs in the NFL at this point. Again, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they're watching this. They're like, my goodness, we need to have these guys do this draft for us because this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable at this point. These guys are cooking with gas right now. But again, there's still so many good options. Ooh. Do we go Daniel Bellinger at tight end? Ooh, I like it. Oh, my boy. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Spiller. JT Woods. Oh, dude, this draft is nuts. Where are we going? Emerson or Sanders? Are they available? Alante went. Let's see who else went. Oh, are they still available? Go to cornerback and edge. So I think some of the people that are calling for certain guys are gone. I'm feeling tight end. This feels like a great opportunity to go tight end. This feels like a great opportunity to go tight end. Again, we're still only at pick 120. The value here is redonkulous considering the picks that we've taken. A lot of people I'm not even going to try to say his name. You guys already know how much problems I've had with speaking today. Not going to try his name out of Maryland. Daniel Bellinger, who's a guy that I really like out of San Diego State. You got Jake Ferguson, again, big fan of Connor Hayward. You got Isaiah Likely still available. Jalen Weidermeyer. I watched him today, not on purpose, but he came away with someone that I was decently impressed with. So, what are we thinking? What are we thinking here? I'm seeing lots of tight end. Seeing lots of tight end. I'm seeing people call Chig, might be a good way to say it. Delaney Walker 2.0 had the fastest 40 time of any tight end at the combine. Interesting. Broke 14 tackles on 76 catches. I'll be honest, I have not watched him yet. I might have to go watch him. So again, this is your guys' pick. Spam the chat. Kyle spamming the chat. Hey, that's what we want. Spam the chat. Spam with who you want. McCollum is gone, I believe. So no more McCollum, no more Myjai Sanders. I feel like we are in a good slot for the tight end. Again, this is the board that is available. Getting a little thin. Haven't gone tight end yet. I think this is a good spot to go tight end. And I'm seeing it. A lot of people I'm seeing a lot of the Maryland tight end. I see Isaiah Likely. But again, spam the chat if you want it. And the ones who have spammed the chat are going to get their wish. We are going to go Chig. I got to watch this guy, though. I'm intrigued. But we'll take him. Wait a second. Where are we picking next? Ooh, we could damn near get this tight end at 134. So before we do that, are we crystal clear? Because we pushed out on cornerback. Do we want to go Kalon Barnes here and then go tight end? I think that might be the smartest move. Let's punt. You tell me. Do we punt on tight end and wait to go to 30? Pick a tight end at essentially pick 34, so not that many picks away. Wait, no, we are at pick 34. At pick 172. Give or take. Yes, and keep in mind, we are heading a territory where guys, are going to be fighting for rosters at this point. So, where do we want to go here? Do we want to stick with Chig? Because we might lose out on him. Where did he go? There he is. Board's getting thin. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get to the bottom of it. We're going to go with Chig at 134. We're going to see how the board falls. Yep. I don't think he would have made it to us. Because if we look at the board, there's a decent run on tight ends that we kind of started. Kohler went to the Eagles. Bellinger goes to the Chicago Bears. Otten goes to Ravens. So we did kind of set off a little bit of a run on tight end. Very well wouldn't have made it back to 172. But now we are on the board at 172. What are we looking like here? I mean, we're killing it now. I think we've addressed pretty much everything outside of cornerback. We've addressed everything outside of cornerback. Where do we want to go here? I'm going to let you guys make these picks. Now we're getting to the point. If you get it in first, you are probably going to be the one who gets to get the pick in. We got a couple picks left. Or do we make a trade? Do we make a trade here and trade some of these picks away? Because we know we have a lot of picks, and we're not going to use all of them. So far, seeing cornerback and best player available. So if we go cornerback and best player available, that lands us on Joshua Williams, who is going to be an FCS player. 6'3", 195. Ooh, boy. He's actually a Division II player, which we've seen plenty of Division II players be able to have success. Again, they have nothing on him. But he is ranked 117. He would be the best available player on the board. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go with the kid? I'm seeing cornerback, the Alabama kid. All right. This kid right here, Josh Jobe. Let's see. Looking at his slot, he doesn't play much of slot, so he is going to be an outside cornerback. So he seems, again, has decent size, nothing crazy. Is this where we're going? Oh, he wants his boy. He wants his boy. Oh, boy. All right. Where are we going? We have so many damn picks. We need to start moving. All right. Quickly, I'm going to recap. I'm going to see where we went. We went center, went safety, went wide receiver, running back, guard, wide receiver, edge, wide receiver, tight end. And now we're on the clock. Does feel like DB would be a good spot to go. Do we take a flyer on the D2 kid that could turn into something? Or do we potentially go with the kid out of Alabama? Can you just let me pick cornerback, please? What are we thinking? Oh, shout out Luke. I appreciate you, man. He said, just want to show my appreciation for you and your work, also your friendship and interactions. Got to head out. Love for the SDS as well. Shout out Luke. What a real one. Legend. Chat legend. So far, Joshua Williams, Josh Jobe. Who's it going to be? I kind of like the idea of the D2 kid. Let's go there. Let's get crazy. I'm going to scout this kid right after this. Let's get crazy. I'm going to scout him right after this. Now I think we get into the territory of maybe we take our last pick here, and then we trade the rest of the picks out. I feel like that's what we should do. So let's make our last pick. And then we're just going to trade out the rest. So what do we need? We kind of need a quarterback. We need a camp arm. We do. But maybe we don't go there. There's still a lot of guys on the board. Ooh, Haskell Garrett right here would be nice. Damn, there's still a lot of players. There's still a good amount of players on the board. I kind of like the Haskell Garrett, even though we have a lot of defensive tackle. The homie, Sean Jolly. We could add additional running back help with Brian Robinson. We could go there. Could go punter. There's still a lot of guys available, man. DJ Jones replacement. Yep, there's running backs all over the place. I wouldn't mind adding another running back, but also, there's a lot of guys, but based on we could go here. He's a guy that I like quite a bit. He could play over the center, he could play over the guard, has upside. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go Haskell Garrett here at 187. And let's trade. Let's trade. Who wants this pick? Jacksonville wants this pick. Okay. You want 220? All right. Give us, nope, they won't do that. 6th round? Nope. 7th round. Should we just start obtaining futures? Let's just start obtaining futures. All right. 220. I mean, we've got it squared away, man. This draft, we're gooch. Let's see what other trade we can get. Okay, you want 221? Can you give us 6? No, they won't do it. We're just collecting 7ths. But you know what? We're gonna pick Mr. Irrelevant. We're not gonna trade Mr. Irrelevant. We're picking Mr. Irrelevant. So who are we taking here? Got punters. Got a couple tight ends still. We got linebackers. Decent amount of linebackers. Who's going to be our Mr. Irrelevant today? Who is going to be our Mr. Irrelevant today? Kicker. I mean, I really do believe you're going to need a camp arm. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't believe will be in camp to be throwing. He could show up, but I think you're going to need another quarterback. You are. You're going to need that Nick Mullins. You're going to need that potential, undrafted guy. Is Garbers available? If they got my guy Garbers on, I don't even think they got Garbers in this draft. Shame. What a shame. But these are the available quarterbacks. Again, you're going to need a camp arm, a guy that you can carry on to the practice squad. What are we thinking? Or do we get crazy and go punter? I really like Purdy, to be honest with you. I forget who I was watching. I think I was watching Chase Allen, the tight end, and I actually came away like watching Purdy and being like, oh, I think he could actually be a decent quarterback. Now, starting caliber quarterback, probably not, but I saw some talent there. But I mean, a lot of people are saying you could go undrafted free agent quarterback potentially. That's very true. We go in a multitude of different ways. See anyone slide out? My boy. Let's see who else is on the board. Man, they added a lot more prospects to this. They added a lot more. Like, look at these guys, how far they got kicked back based on ADP versus rank. I've heard quietly about this guy getting some. Oh, again, I got burned a little bit. All right. Who are we doing? What are we doing? Let's end this thing on a strong note. All right. Back to the first page. Ranking wise, this is where we're at. Do we go punter? Do we go kicker? Do we go O line depth? Do we go safety depth? Additional tight end depth? No Cal players. Garber should be here. I don't know where he's at. Jack Jones is a super talented quarterback out of ASU, former 5-star. Did have an off-field issue early in his career, but really good cover guy. I think you meant cornerback. Yeah, you meant cornerback. I don't even think he's not on here. All right. Are we doing it? We going punter? Are we just gonna call it a day? Go punter? I think we should. Let's get out of this thing. All right. We're gonna do it. We're going punter. We want BPA. Let's see what they gave us. Let's see what they gave us. Oh, B-. But here's our draft. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. There's our trade. We made 2 trades off the start. We came back, got Tyler Linderbaum, Jaquan Brisker, Christian Watson, Breece Hall, Dylan Parham, Khalil Shakur, Myjai Sanders, David Bell, Chig, Joshua Williams, Haskell Garrett. This is wild. John Lynch is sitting back watching this saying, you know what? We're doing this. We're doing this. We're following the same plan. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is what we came up with. This is wild. This is a wild draft. I mean, what an exercise today. What an exercise today. Again, we were able to fill a lot of needs. We were able to fill a lot of needs with a lot of really good players. I mean, if the 49ers came away with Christian Watson, Khalil Shakir, and David Bell in one draft, I would be ecstatic. Ecstatic. Ken doesn't like it, but that's okay, Ken. That's okay. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But I mean, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, but that's a mock draft for you. This is honestly so I haven't really messed around with too many of these mocks. So this is really kind of like the first one I've done where we have traded Debo Samuel and we've messed around with the different values, where these guys are going to be. Obviously, we went a little crazy with the trades. Is this a realistic mock draft? I don't know. Maybe again, like if Kyle and John are watching this right now, they're like, "Ooh, this is a great idea. We're gonna do all of this." So let's see. How many players did we come out with at the end of the day? We came out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a lot for sure. But again, if we're Alex Mack's retiring, we're down 1. Jaquan Brisker, you add him to the mix. Again, he's arguably starting, potentially in rotation with Odom and with Talanoa Hufanga. You're back to getting four legitimate safeties. You need to do that anyways. With the wide receiver position, they have added wide receivers, but the two guys that they have added are on veteran minimum deals. Those two guys could be cut at any moment. So if they wanted to go get more wide receivers, I would imagine David Bell, Khalil Shakir, and Christian Watson, they would have no problems moving off the two wide receivers that they just recently signed. Again, you need a 90-man roster heading into camp, and you got to fill it out with the best players possible. You get Breece Hall falls to 61. We talked about that not necessarily being like we think that's going to happen, but pretending like this is a real draft and he's there. You look at the 49ers running back room, you look at who's available, and you have Elijah Mitchell, you have Jeff Wilson, you have JaMychal Hasty, you have Trey Sermon. It's not a lot to work with, to be honest with you. So I think we've talked about trying to upgrade potentially JaMychal Hasty's position. So, right off the bat, you have a 1-2 punch of Hall and Mitchell. That's pretty solid if you ask me. And then of course, you have Jeff Wilson in there, and we'll see what Trey Sermon turns into. Dylan Parham, again, he could slot in. So kind of how we're looking at this draft with the offensive line, it's a little sketchy because we're looking at a situation where we have a starting center, Tyler Linderbaum. In this particular setup, we would have coming in to be the starting center. So if he's the starting center, that means we're keeping Brunskill at right guard. Obviously, there is no Laken Tomlinson at left guard. We go and take Dylan Parham, who is Laken Tomlinson clone, and we have him compete with Aaron Banks, which I believe you need to do. We don't know what Aaron Banks is, and again, we're just not at practice. We don't get to see the development and things like that. But I still believe you want to bring in some competition to that position. So then you bring in Dylan Parham. You have the opportunity to have him compete with Aaron Banks. Also to think about, Daniel Brunskill only has 1 year left on his deal, so he will be a free agent the following year. So this could also take care of a potential kind of thinking 1 year in advance as well. So Parham could fill a role. He could be a potential starter and or potential starter next year, kind of like what the 49ers did with Aaron Banks. So that's kind of the thought process there. Then with Khalil Shakir, actually brings some of that Debo Samuel type, versatility to him. He plays really well into the short to intermediate part of the field. He has a phenomenal ability for high pointing the football, bringing down contested catches. I think Khalil Shakir is a baller. And then you're able to get Myjai Sanders. Again, he's going to come in as a situational pass rusher. You get him on the edge. You rotate him in with the group that you already have. And again, the three-headed monster at wide receiver, you get David Bell, who's going to be a route runner, a guy who's going to create separation with his body. We all know he's not going to be ultra fast, but that's fine. We've seen wide receivers be successful that don't run blazing 40s. I think David Bell is one of those guys. You throw him the football, he's going to go up and get it and come down with it. So you get Christian Watson, you get Khalil Shakir, and you get David Bell. I mean, three insanely talented wide receivers in the same class to help replace the production of one. I feel okay with that. Again, you can use Christian Watson behind the line of scrimmage. You can use Khalil Shakir behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe not so much David Bell, but with those two guys, you can use David Bell, again, playing a big slot kind of role. He could play outside. He could do all the different things. And then you get Chig, who, again, I admittedly haven't watched, but again, you guys who have been watching are comparing him to a Delaney Walker, like 2.0. I'll take a look. He's a guy that I haven't watched, but I'm going to go watch after this. We also went with Joshua Williams out of Fayetteville State, which is a D2. We went with a shot in the dark here. We could have went in a different direction, I think, but we decided um, to take one of the top D2 prospects and see how that pans out. I'm not opposed to that at all. Again, I'm a former D2 kid as well. I have no problems taking uh, D1, D2, D1 AA, FCS, D2, D3 guys at all. I don't. As long as they can play, that's it. So I'm interested to see what Joshua Williams looks like on tape. So I'm going to get into him. Haskell Garrett, we decided to go defensive line here because we wanted to get a guy that we can add additional depth into that defensive line and inject it again. We lost Contavious Street, we lost DJ Jones. We still have tons of depth, and we added Hassan Ridgeway. But hey, Haskell Garrett is kind of one of these guys that has a pretty good first step quickness. He has good hand movements and things like that. I remember Aloha's been talking about Calvin Turner for a while. He's been talking about Calvin Turner for a while. Um, so I actually still haven't looked at him. I need to, 100%. Um, and then we just want Matt Ariza. It was to the point where we were running out of prospects and needs because we've taken so many players. So we just want punter there. Why not? So hey, not bad, I guess. Not bad. We traded Deebo again. We got the 38th overall and 69th, which I think is a pretty reasonable haul for Deebo. We then turned pick 10 into 16, 49, and 120. So if this is what I like the most, I think, of this. Again, so if we are looking at this trade, again, we started this by saying we don't want to trade Deebo, but that's how I feel it's going to go down. And so we wanted to test the idea and play with it a little bit. And we turned Deebo into 6 picks. We turned Deebo into 6 picks. We turned Deebo into 4 top 50 picks, 69 and 120. If you can turn Debo Samuel into 6 picks, I would say that's a pretty good situation. Again, obviously trading Deebo in the first place is not something that you want to do, but if you can somehow finesse Deebo into multiple assets, then hey, that's what we're going to do. So that's what we did. We turned Deebo into 6 draft picks, 4 of them being in the top 50. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Again, ideally, you don't want to trade Deebo. Ideally, you don't. But we were able to turn Deebo into multiple assets. So there you go. There's our mock draft. Shout out to everyone who stuck through it. Shout out to everyone who contributed, engaged, made selections, all that kind of stuff. Because it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Again, the Debo Samuel situation is ongoing. It will be continued to be monitored. It will be continued to be dissected. Again, someone had mentioned earlier about Debo and his story post. So we could actually even look at that right here. So let's look at Debo trolling us for the 400th time. Let's see. We are going to look at Debo trolling us for the 400th time. So here's the post. Again, he really made it clear that he wanted to get that particular part of the photo in. So, from my understanding, that's a Dallas Cowboys photo. Um, I believe that's either Troy Aikman or Tony Romo. Um, so again, it's just if these things that he's doing right now to me are the reasons why he will get traded. Um, I think, I think he's gone. Unfortunately, I would love for him to come back. I would love for him to not be doing this kind of stuff too. At the end of the day, I really don't care that much, but I understand what he's doing and why that could be troubling to some fans. Um, so again, um, this isn't. I would have to say this is intentional. I don't feel like you know like he's very aware what he's posting, what's being looked at, what's going out there, what's in your frame. He's been very crystal clear about posting his locations, where he's at, all that type of stuff. Like I said, Debo's very smart. He's very savvy in regards to what he's posting and why he's posting. So hey, just happened to fit, just happened to fit a cowboy in there. We already had Debo Samuel liking literal tweets of him in a Cowboys jersey swap. So that to me that was the big troll to me. Him liking the jersey swaps of him in a Cowboys jersey. That was the big troll. Um, but again, there's a code. There's a code. There's a code that these players adhere to. There's a reason. If there was a tell-all book for all these players, or they all just told everyone all the things that went behind the scenes, you'd probably be like flabbergasted at like some of the dynamics behind the scenes. So the fact that he's aired them out, the fact that he continues to do what he does, I don't think the 49ers are playing that game. I don't. They're going to continue to tell us they're not going to trade him. They don't want to trade him, and rightfully so, because they're going to make someone pay more than they need to in order in order to do it. And 100%, he knows he knows we hate the Cowboys. 100%, he knows. So it is what it is. It is what it is. That's why, I don't think the 49ers are playing that game anymore. He's clearly still playing that game. So hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That's why I'm at a 98.7. He gets traded. Don't necessarily want him to get traded, but that's just where it feels like. It just feels like the bridges have been burned. And they are going to do what's best for their organization. And hey, I just showed us how we can turn Deebo into four top 50 picks, one of them being 10, one of them being 38. Maybe they do it. Maybe they don't. So we'll see. Drafts coming up in a couple days. I'm gonna keep watching tape. Keep trying to make sure that I got my eye on all these prospects and all that good stuff. So if Deebo gets traded, we'll kind of have an idea of potential replacements or players that the 49ers could draft if they find themselves in the first round on Thursday. So that's coming up. and all that good stuff. Uh, yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, 100%, 100%. These next 2 days are crazy, man. These next 2 days are crazy. Um, Justin said, just I saw a Jets fan saying they heard the deal was done. It was 10, 35, and 38. Hey, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what the haul looked like. I 100% believe it's going to be a first and a second. And I believe right now what they're trying to do is they're trying to get more. Um, so that's kind of what I don't think that's too far off because I think that's really what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to get 10. I think they're trying to get 35, but they're also trying to get 38. Um, and or someone talked about it earlier, Elijah Moore potentially. I think that's what they're trying to do. I think the 49ers, again, if the 49ers are going to trade Debo Samuel, they cannot trade Debo Samuel for anything less than a like insane package because again, you can't set the precedent that like, oh, a player wants to get traded. Okay. Well, then he gets to get traded and then the 49ers aren't able to get an actual legitimate return. Like that's what they can't have happen. So for him to request a trade, okay, we weren't going to trade you. We didn't want to trade you. We were probably going to pay you, but it was going to be, on par with the negotiations and how everything had went. But okay, well, if we're going to trade you, then it has to be worth it for us, or else we're just going to keep you. So it feels like, and so we've heard whispers about Miami potentially being in the mix. And again, that's ultimately what we want as 49er fans. We want people bidding on Debo. We want John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to be receiving offers and telling like, let's say the Jets do offer 10, 35, and 30, 38. They go, well, we actually received a better offer from the Eagles, or we received a better offer from the Dolphins. Um, so if you guys want Debo, we need more. We need 10, 35, 38, and Elijah Moore. Or we need 10, 35, 38, 69, and Elijah Moore. That's where we want to be. And I think that's where they are. I think this is what is being discussed right now. I think the deals have been submitted. They've been working the back and forth. And essentially, right now, is that we talk about it all the time. We talk about, the overall length of like things getting done in the NFL. All the things in the NFL get done in like the last 5%. So with the essentially Thursday being the trade deadline for Debo Samuel, we are in that 5% category. We are in that period of time where all deals will get done. So, hey, there's a lot of smoke, and hey, whatever. Like we don't have to believe it or anything. Cap said, new mock 10, 35, 38. Jay Tan says, Brad, it's crazy because some people know measuring who had a feeling that it would go down just like this. I made a rip. It's crazy because some people know measuring who had a feeling that it would go down like this. My brain's not working. Just FYI, brain's not working today. Um, so that's it feels like we're in that last 5% essentially, where we are just waiting. I believe the offers are being submitted. Obviously, there's the other side where they have to agree to pay Debo. So I think those details need to be ironed out a bit as well. Um, so we'll see, man. We'll see. I think we're gonna potentially have some news in the next day or two, but I still think there are things to be worked out and discussed. So we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate everyone tapping in today with this mock draft. I appreciate everyone vibing. Um, obviously, we wish it was under different circumstances. Probably wish we weren't having to do mock drafts where we're trading Debo Samuel, but that is the world that we live in currently. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What's this? Detroit. No, no, not Detroit. No, no, please. Anything like that. No. Take him to Detroit. No, interesting video. So, one of Debo Samuel's entourage people, one of his people close to him, posted this on his story. Take him to Detroit. No, no, not Detroit. No, no, please. Anything like that. No. Take him to Detroit. So that's someone in Debo's camp. Just posted that on his story. So that's interesting. That's interesting. So, and that's like Debo's right hand man too. That's like his dude. Like that's one of his that's one of his boys. So interesting. Is he going to Detroit? We getting 2 and 33? Ooh. That's how you fleece the Jets. That's how you fleece the Jets. You say, well, the Detroit Lions are going to give us the second overall pick and 33. Jets, what are you going to give us? 4 and 10? Boy. Detroit would pay Deebo. Detroit would trade everything to get Deebo. Man, what a wild ride. What a wild ride it's been. So we'll continue to see what happens, what goes down, all of that. We'll figure it out. Oh man, what a time to be a Niner fan. What a time to be a Niner fan. But yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So we'll see how it plays out. But that boy, I feel like he's getting traded. I know some people still don't feel like he is, but I feel like he's getting traded. So we'll see how it goes. We'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time, around 1:30, 1:45 ish. And we will be talking probably more draft, hopefully less Debo. But again, I imagine we're going to hear more. We're going to hear all that good stuff. More stuff's going to come out. Oh, gosh. All right. But Tony Pauline just tweeted. He's been tweeting a lot of things. He's been tweeting a lot of things, if we're being honest. But what did he say? Rumors in the league are heating up that Debo Samuel could be on the move. We will have more tonight with Trey Wingo. All right. So that's from Tony Pauline. He's an NFL draft analyst for Pro Football Network. He was also the guy that said that the 49ers offered Debo Samuel 19 million a year, but then it came out that Debo asked the 49ers to not even offer him. So we'll see. But I do agree with him. I agree 100% with him. I think that's just what we got done talking about. Um, right now, they're getting it done. This getting ironed out right now. Um, this is the last leg. This is that last 5%. This is when deals get done. It's happening right now. I don't think it will be announced right now, but it's happening right now. So we'll see what the climate's like tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting when we hop back on here tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys tapping in. Hit that sub button if you haven't. Smash that like button on your way out. Appreciate you guys kicking it with me. Grab a cookie on your way out if you stayed the whole time. It's been a wild ride, but I will continue to monitor and we'll continue to talk about it. Appreciate everyone, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.